Good morning, everyone. I know it's early, but thank you for being willing to come early to the live stream this morning. I do have to go to physical therapy for my lower back because I have scoliosis, a scoliosis in my back, and I'm working on being able to have good posture for the rest of my life and hopefully be pain-free. So I'm off. I'm doing the first step, physical therapy. I had my evaluation. I've hopefully we can move the dates and times later so that don't interfere so much with the live stream. Today we're working on Moda Blockheads 3. Moda Blockheads 3. This block is like full of half square triangles. It seems to be what we do in these blocks. I'm looking at my design wall with all the other blocks on there, the pinwheel blocks, pretty much. There's, other than flying geese, I think, well, when we did paper piecing, it's half square triangles. And you know what? I think it's in a ton of blocks. So it's a great skill to master. And believe me, by the time we're done doing all these blocks, you guys will have this down. You will have everything down. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. Okay, so this block uses 4 different colors, that if you're counting the background, and it gives you a list on the back of how many of each half square triangle. And I'm super glad I decided to make this the 12-inch size because the blocks are 2 inches half square triangles. And they're just easier to work with. You know, you can work with them tinier, but it's just easier. Ask Sharon. She did all those 1.5 finishes 1-inch blocks. I love it. Good morning. Good morning, Laura. I think Denise is showing up early. I'm hoping Claudia makes it on. I have my phone charging over on my ironing board so that if she calls, we can help her get on. Okay. So I thought today I'm going to tip you up now that people are here and I can get started sewing. Sorry if I make you a little seasick making this work. There we go. So now I have you on my cutting table. Since we're just doing half square triangles over and over again, I decided you didn't have to watch me make them all, since there were, how many, let's see, how many altogether did I make? For this block, you make 20, 30, 40, 48 half square triangles. Go figure. So I've made most of them. I did that yesterday so that, given that it was a little cold here in this part of the country, and we weren't on our boat, I did that. But I saved 1 half square triangle. Now, I'm just going to review all the steps. Good morning, Michelle. I'm going to review all the steps on it again and do it both ways. 1 with my tucker trimmer and 1 without my tucker trimmer, because each square, when you sew the 2 of them together, make 2 half square triangles. So I drew a line down the center. I sewed roughly 1/4 inch away from each side. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want too little a seam allowance or too big. But somewhere in that 1/4 inch range. Okay. And now I'm going to cut it right on that line in half. And one of them I'm going to do with the tucker trimmer. The other one I'm going, so when you don't use the tucker trimmer, you have to press first. When you use the tucker trimmer, you just leave it how you cut it in half. So I'm going to go press this one because I heard my iron click on and off again. I think it's warm enough. With half square triangles, I finger press them open and then press down. Okay, and now I have this one pressed open. Okay, so first I use the tucker trimmer. I have glare when I'm standing up here like this with the lights on overhead, so maybe I will turn the lights off. Oh, well, I'll leave it on there. Do you have trouble seeing my tabletop with that light on, or is it just the angle that I'm looking at my laptop? I think it's just the angle I'm looking at my laptop. Okay. So I need to reduce these to 2-inch squares, and I know that because the A blocks in the pattern I cut 2 inches. So, and the half square triangle has to match that in size. But not only that, they tell you in the directions, but I just figured it out. And good morning, Denise. So with the Tucker trimmer, I put that 2-inch line. It has a whole circle on one side and a half circle on the other. So if I was doing ones that ended in a 1/2 inch, I would use the half. This ends 2 is a whole. So I'm putting the 2-inch, the line that connects the two twos right there on my sewing line that I did, right on the sewing line. And I was for a while putting a little above, a little below. I've been experimenting with it, what makes it extremely more accurate. And it really shows you whether you sew a straight line or not. Like I wish you could I could zoom in for you and you could see that I have the thickness of the thread slightly below the line here, slightly above the line here, and if I angle it, I sort of get it, hold on, I have to dismiss that. I lose part of it. So anyway, so I've created an average on my line, cutting up and over, and now I have my 2-inch square. I'm going to press it open. And the steam, and all I have to do is snip off the little dog ears, and I just stand at my trash barrel, not today because you're in front of me, and I snip them off. It doesn't take very long. It's really easy to do. If you have one of those little thread catchers, you don't even have to go to your trash. You can clip them right into there. So now that's the Tucker trimmer. If we don't use the Tucker trimmer, because many of you don't own that tool, and you could always borrow mine if you want to test it out. Please don't buy it without testing it out. If because I have one that you can test and see if you really like it. And when we get back to Tuesdays, I haven't connected with the church yet. Thought I would give them a little time to see how they're opening up and what their program is before I put in for us to socially Laura, how did you say that? Distance? It's not socially distancing. It's physically distancing in a social setting. So anyway, we use the line, the 45-degree line, okay, and the corner, and we put that line right on the seam between the two fabrics. All right, and I like to trim as little off on one side as possible. And I did these kind of tighter this time, so wasted less fabric because I'm getting nervous. We've made so many beautiful blocks, and I only have that one fat quarter bundle. And then you trim off the two sides. I made sure before I trimmed that I could see fabric under that 2-inch line all the way around. Now I'm just going to flip it, and I'm going to put it on the line again, and I'm putting the fabric in on the two, just as if you were cutting a square, like a 2-inch square with your ruler. And because you lined it up, put that 45-degree line on there the first time, when you drop it the other way, it goes in. And it too makes a perfect half square triangle, but it takes more time. See how much longer it took? I mean, yes, I was explaining it to you, but it did take longer to create. And I suppose potentially it may feel more accurate doing it with that ruler, but they really come out the same size. So and you get better and better at using the Tucker trimmer tool. I think ultimately, potentially, because you have where are you putting it on your seam line, but once you create that with the tucker trimmer, it comes out even. So now we have to sew all these half square triangles together. We have a few solid squares, that is quite a few, of the solid squares, because ultimately there's 64 squares in this block. And we're going to sew it together row by row. I'm just going to build it according to the directions, row by row, and lay it out that way, because if I lay the whole block out on the table, I don't have that much workspace for the block right here. I'll bump it and move it out of the way. So I'm putting my stitch length down to 2.0, and I'm going to lay out the first one. And the first block, the first row uses the dark blue and the light, 2 solid squares. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way because I'm going to put it all the way across. 2 solid squares, 2 more of these, and now here's the trick. These go together like a flying geese. I thought about doing a flying geese unit, but let me just do this correctly. Flying geese points in. So when I put these 2 together, I want this to nest here. So that means I need to flip this. And given that I know that already, I'm just going to go to the iron, repress this close, and press this one to the other side. Okay, so now when I put these 2 together, they will nest. And then it repeats on the other side, 2 white blocks and 1 more, and the dark points in. They point in. Okay, so let's just sew this row together. And we have 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 rows of 8. 8 of 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Yes, I can do math. Even on Tuesday morning. I'm wearing my GW. This is where Caitlin, our younger daughter, goes, whom you all know, goes to school for physical therapy. And I am supporting her. She has her major comprehensive exam at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. So she's studying. Talked to her yesterday. She was studying away. FaceTimed with her, and she's feeling much better about it because she passed her 3rd practice test. And I mean, not with the grade, of course, that my daughter, who would love to have a perfect score, would like, but she passed it, so she's feeling better about it, and her stamina to take it, because as you all know, she has mono, which, even though it's not active anymore. I don't know if that's the right term. It's not active anymore, but it just takes a long time to get everything back, you know, and she couldn't exercise, and just crazy. So all right, now just run my little piece through, clip the blocks apart. I'm gonna, before I press, I'm actually, so I remember which way to press them all when I lay them out, because what we want to do is press all one row going one way and the other row going the other way. I'm just going to open them up and finger press them so that I know that I have them all going the correct way, and they'll stay nice and flat with the finger pressing. Okay, and this one's going this way, and then this one is going this way. And now we'll sew the pairs together. So So these two together. And we'll sew these two together. I hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend. You know, it was kind of, Sunday I think was the best weather day for us. I think you would all agree. And we went out to our boat, even with all that wind. Got soaking wet because we had to go in our dinghy, but we had a blast. Jessica came with us, and so it was fun, even though now I want to make sure these are all going the right direction. Again, I'm finger pressing. This one's going this way. We'll finger press, and now I'm going to put this row together, and you're going to see that it all comes together and it nests right there. So I could put a pin in there, but I'm going to live dangerously and stitch it right down. And put my other one through. I suppose I should make some more of these. Getting pretty sewn together. Okay, now you can see that by doing that, it's pretty good even without a pin. I'm going to press all my seams to the same direction, the direction that I finger pressed them to, and steam it down. And there is, voila, our first row. Da, da, da. Okay, let's see if it's 12.5 inches. That's like living dangerously. And it is. That's very good. Lucky on the first try. There we go. All right. Now we're going to build the next row. The next row starts with a solid square. And it's not going to be nice and tight in there, so I'm just going to give it a little space to breathe here. This is the one that has the dark and the beige. It goes together. It kind of looks like a little bow tie right there. And then beige and white. And then the light blue and white. And the light blue and white. And then beige and white. Beige and dark blue. That will make its little bow tie when it sews together. And now we're going to take a quick look at which one of these need to flip. Okay, given that this seam won't show underneath, I'm going to flip these to the beige because they have to pair up. And I'm going to flip one of these to the white. So these are going to go to the beige, and this one's going to go to the white. I'm going to iron them close, and I'm going to flip them, and then they'll be ready for sewing. Okay. You know what? I just realized that was silly because these needed to be pressed to the dark, and they were pressed to the dark. And I flipped them, and I didn't have to. I was thinking about that when I was over there. I'm going to go put them back. Go figure. I put them right back, you know. Okay. So much for, it's going, there we go. All right, let's sew it together. So take them up in pairs. We did a lot of planting in our yard. Well, I say that like we, but my husband did a lot of planting in the yard. Okay, these two are going together. You can see that this lines up like this. And now this one, I guess I am going to have to flip it because I didn't even think about how these matched up. So I'm just going to flip this one. I have to make sure I sew the correct seam. Right. Now, let's put this back together now. This is making a flying geese unit, and this is up here. There we go. Because it's just like me, I get all flipped around pretty easy. Try and pick them up. That's why I try and do all the pressing ahead. It's super easy to get flipped around. All right. Now this gets sewn on here. I have to think about this because now this is towards the beige. Yeah, towards the dark. I think that'll work. If it doesn't work, we'll just have to change it. All right, this in here. We'll have our pairs. This goes here. This goes here. Here. And here. So these are going this direction. So now these are going to go the opposite direction. They're going that way. So when I open this one, I want it to go this way. Like this. When I open this one, needs to go like this. Like that. And when I open this one, even though I'd like it to go the other way, I'm going to push it this way so that the seams will match. There we go. All right, now we're going to sew our pairs. Yep, this is the one that's going to be off. But I'm going to just flip it anyway. It's a short distance. We'll see how horrible it makes it when we press, because it just works so much better. But in order to do that, I do have to put a pin in. So here we go. I could flip this, take it out and flip it, but I'm not going to. Okay, now this one that I thought about it on will work perfectly. So I like it. I like to start with the lighter amount of bulk. My machine likes it better. It sews over the bulk fine, but it just likes to start with it better. Okay, we have our 2 groups of 4. Okay. Now we're going to open this up and finger press this the way we want it to go. There's one. It's pretty good. That's the one that has the weird flip. And let's get this going the right way. There we go. This is going this way. Now we're going to flip these two together. And I'm going to take it to the ironing board and press row 2, you guys. Press row 2. Let me know if you did anything different over this Memorial Day weekend. It'd be kind of fun to hear what everybody did. So, gotta make sure I'm pressing everything the correct direction. Okay, can't even really tell which one I switched differently, but there's the next row. Seems to be lining up pretty well. I'm gonna move it up. We're on to row 3. All right, so this weekend, I'll just talk while I put it out. This weekend we went on Saturday. We did some of the planting and organizing, and we have a friend who has a greenhouse. How amazing is that? And look at this. This could have been done as a square and a square. I've been thinking about how to reinvent this block. I do not talk in a straight line. Anyway, she brought us a whole bunch of plants, veggie plants, for our garden, which is really awesome. And this is going to be a flying geese that's going up this way. And so we put some of those in the ground, which was awesome. And then we got ready to go on the boat, collected all the stuff we needed for the boat, which was fun. And then Sunday we went out in the boat. It was so wet. Let me just tell you, the wind was blowing right down the harbor. Our mooring is way down at the mouth of the harbor. So we had to go in our little dinghy, which was loaded with bodies, so it's hard to get it up on a plane. And we just had waves coming on us, like spray everywhere. We were just getting wet. And my poor husband, he felt so bad about it. He was like, I'm really sorry we were like, we don't care. We're out in the water. It was kind of fun. It was cold. I cannot tell a lie, it was cold. But once we got to the boat, first of all, we have heat on our boat. We turned the generator on, and we had to test it anyway, to test everything that works. And so we then, I'm going to just do these while I'm talking. It's the same thing. I'm going to flip every other seam. So this one I'm flipping, then this one I'm flipping, because this will be towards the white. No, I won't have to flip this one. This one's to the dark. So I'm just going to make sure they're all flipped the right way, but I'm going to do them one at a time so that they're all flipped down. Anyway, so we laid in the boat till we dried off, and then by then it was lunchtime, and we went back to the yacht club, and we picked up our lunch, which was fun. And all right, so that's to the dark. This one has to be to the light. So and we came back and ate on our deck, which was sunny and warm and dry, and that was fun. And then we found this program on Netflix, which all right, that's to the light, so that's to the dark. So this one needs to be to the light. Called The All American, and I guess it used to be on the CW. So it's kind of a teeny bopper sort of, I don't know how to describe it, show, but you know, I think if you remember, that's where like okay, I should have just done the right thing instead of trying to take a shortcut. Kind of reminds me like Beverly Hills 90210 or whatever that show was. I think that's the zip code of Beverly Hills, given that I'm such a Californian. Alrighty, let's put this in the right place. Now we can sew our row together. I have them all flipped. They're just going to go. So I'm just going to talk while I'm sewing the row. Anyway, it's called the All-American. It's actually based on a true story, but very loosely based because I looked it up. Looked up the player because I couldn't stand it any longer. I wanted to know who this real football player was. But it's a kid who lives in Crenshaw, which is a suburb of LA that's a really rough, pretty predominantly ethnic minority community. Okay, I just flipped all these so that they would be right. This one's to the light. This one's to the dark. And it should be to the light, I guess. So I'm just going to flip this one right now, but that means I'm going to have to flip the other ones on the way down. So I'm just going to flip it. Flip them as I go. So much for thinking I had it right. I think I now have to flip them all. Okay, so let's put this back in here because this one goes up here like this. This one's going like this. Okay. So now let's make sure if I put these two together. Nope, this one has to go back. I could have just switched those two, you know? How brilliant would have that been? Okay. So now this one's right. So this one's right. This one's right. I think I have to switch them all now because I started down that slippery slope. This one's dark. Nope, this one's correct. When I put this one's correct. Okay, I just messed up on one. Thank goodness. Okay, so I'm putting this pair together. Anyway, it's a story where he, it's a Cinderella story for a guy. This coach who's from Crenshaw, who now married a very wealthy white girl from Beverly Hills, who's a lawyer, and he's the coach for the high school team, and he watches this young kid play from the sidelines, and actually he dated in high school this kid's mother. And so he decides to bring him up to Beverly Hills to play to have a winning team because he's like this phenomenal player. You know he's going to get hurt or something. Just waiting for that to happen. And he's doing that, struggling with affluence and being a good kid and all that stuff. And so it's a fun story that the family thinks that maybe the dad's that he's really their brother, and there's all this drama that's going on, all this teenage angst. They just had a homecoming, and of course I don't know if this is his senior year or not. Who knows in these shows? Oh, here's my other one. So anyway, it's kind of fun. So we've been watching that. Took a break from Bosch because there's 6 seasons of Bosch, and we've watched 2, and we don't want to run through them too fast. And there's other things besides television. So, all right, so now these all are going this way, so these have to go this way. So we're going to open them up, finger press them. You can use, I have, which I probably put away. Nope, I have this little rolling. This is what I use for my paper piecing. And you could do that too. You could use that. But I'm going to be taking it to the iron pretty quick. So this one goes this way. I'm just doing it lightly so that I know when I get to the iron they're going to want to lay the right way. All right. This one's going this way. Oh, the other thing I started doing, I have not crocheted, just saying, since I was, I don't know how old I was, 11? I was a Girl Scout, and I wanted to earn the merit badge. My mom refused to teach me. She said, if you want to do it, because I was just that much of a brat, you learn yourself, spend your allowance, buy the yarn. She didn't believe I would stick with it. And I learned. I made a crocheted vest, and then I bought yarn from babysitting, and I made granny squares, and I made this big granny square afghan that I actually had all the way through college. But I stopped after I made that granny. I got bored with it and I switched to knitting. And I knit all the way through college and knit. Laura knows I've just knit. I did felted bags. I randomly pick up the knitting. But I saw on Instagram this friend that Laura and I have that we met, and Sharon, that we met on the Paducah trip that we went on her Instagram, that she had crocheted like superheroes and yeah, superheroes and Star Wars characters. And if you guys know my son-in-law, he's like a Star Wars fanatic, and our daughter and superhero, the whole Marvel franchise. And I thought they would make cute cat toys. Like who like thinks that when they were 11 and they could crochet now something super tiny and have it turn out. So I spent the weekend watching YouTube videos, and they have YouTube videos for everything and like every technique. So I just Googled the technique, watched the YouTube video, and I have it actually it's not going to look as good as hers, but it actually cones down. Like I actually got it to make like the head shape, and I figured out I did the 2-color thing and put the black. I have the first little bit of black showing up in there, and I think it will look like I'm hoping it looks like a stormtrooper, so I want to do Baby Yoda too. I asked her where she got it. She said she bought it as a kit from this publisher or this organization in the UK, and obviously I'm not getting it in the UK. So I went on Amazon, and of course they had the same thing, the same kit, and so I bought the kit, and that's what I'm working with. And if I make these 2, I'll be very happy. I may not make any more than that. I didn't buy the superhero one. I just did the. Okay, I'm gonna press I'm doing the Stormtrooper and Yoda, and if by the time I do Yoda they get easier, I might do the other characters. But I'm not investing any more into it. Oops, I think I just flipped these the wrong way. No, just the first one. These all have to go this way. This one just needed to go the other way. Okay, it's starting to look like the block. Pretty soon we're going to have half the block. All right. I'm aiming to get the whole block done before I have to leave for physical therapy. I have to end by 10:30 no matter what. It's a hard stop for me. Okay, so now the next row, which is the halfway point, goes this way. All right, and we get to add some more of these. Oh, I see. I was like, that's weird, but it's making this whole shape here again, which is the little bow tie, little bow tie, little bow tie, little bigger bow tie. That's the way my brain works. Go figure. Okay, and then a dark one comes up like this. I'm going to slide these all over. Okay. And then this one is making a point here, because this is going to make a square inside the middle right here. In case you're wondering, because you don't have it in front of you because you're working on your own project. This one's going this way. Okay, now I'm going to try and do this better this time. What has to line up? So this is already going towards the dark, so I'm going to press this one to the light, and then I'm going to test this one because I think it's going to be right. Oh, the other interesting thing we did, I just was thinking about, like, that didn't seem like very much of my weekend, but, all right, so that one's correct. And this one, See if this one's correct. That one's correct. And then this one must have to flip. Yep, this one has to flip. We did this, our yacht club, it did a sew with the chef. You know, he didn't do a Zoom. What he did was he recorded himself making this boy vase, which was so good, by the way. And then he prepped, crazy person that he is, all of the ingredients. This has to flip to the light side. For us to make it at our house. And then we then we followed along. So he would say to add something, we would add it. Now, the good news for me is that Peter is a really good cook. And so that one's correct. This one has to flip. So we would watch him cook. We were in the chat on the YouTube, so we could ask questions and stuff. And he wasn't on there. He did the you know what? I just pressed that to go to the other way. All right. And we made it, and then we posted the pictures. We made it. We ate it. Had wine with it. He said to put a Sauvignon Blanc with it, and I, of course. Oh, you know what? I probably should have. I did have it correctly. All right. Enough talking and doing this at the same time. This is pretty funny. I think this is very funny. How many times can I flip it? There are some big fat robins in our backyard. Okay. Enough, because by the time I get there, it's the last one. All right, I'm going to sew my pears. It was so tasty, and the problem was that they edited it. Ah, This is America on Hulu. About Fella Safely. They cut out the cooking time from the video, so he would say, cook that for 3 minutes, and then boom, he'd be on to the next thing, you know, like, and we couldn't pause it because it was a live event in which they were running the video behind. So it was a little frustrating, but because Peter's a good cook, it came out, and it was so tasty and so yummy. And we didn't have to do, other than chopping up some of the vegetables, they washed everything, and it was amazing. All we had to do was pretty much throw it in the pan at the right time. It was so good. All right, Denise, I'm going to check out those shows. This is very good. I'm always looking for more things to watch. So, okay. Oh, it's right there in front of me. So, here we go. We can track the time. I'm almost halfway done. This will be the halfway point once I finish this row. So now these are going this way. So these, of course, this way is so effective. These are going to my right. So these are now all going to my left. I think I'm going to press them a little more. All right, so these, when I open it up, should go to the left. There we go. Oh, of course I didn't even notice it until I'm looking at it now. It's going to really make a pronounced star because of the color choice that I made. So this one's going this way. I have to make sure I'm orienting this the right way. There's that. And now this one. Okay, so let's put this here. So I'll post a picture. I was going to post a picture of my progress on my little stormtrooper, but on my Instagram, but I think I'll wait till at least I get the head done. So I'll have some time to work on it today. Sew my pairs together. I think I need to talk to Phyllis about getting my machine cleaned. I've been using it so much. Okay, so the dark is in the corner. This gets finger pressed this way. And the dark is in the corner. Look at that. This time I paid attention. I only had to iron, what, that one 3 times. But at least they're all flipped the right way. There's no funky flip in this one row. They're all nesting beautifully. Okay, I'm going to pin this row to this row because I have this one for matching. And I can sort of chain the rows and we can start seeing the block come together. But this I absolutely am going to pin. And I'm going to show you this device that I bought in Paducah for pressing seams. Actually, I think I bought it at the Vermont Quilt Festival. For pressing seams open because they had them in every classroom, so I really got to use it because I'm going to press the rows open. I think it will lay flatter. And none of my blocks, I'm trying to put them so that none of the rows line up with anything, though that won't happen. Eventually something will. Well, all the halfway points will line up in 6-inch rows. Okay, so now I'm going to sew my seam together. Oh, the other thing that happened, yes it did, was the, hair salons were allowed to open on Monday, and my hairdresser opened with all the restrictions in place. She was super good about it. And so I felt comfortable. The only thing was the blow dryer blowing some of the hair under my mask. It's not too much fun, just saying. But it feels good to have my hair short again. And I feel younger because she colored my hair. So, okay, let's press this row. So they're all going the correct way. Oh, let's make sure I have them because I was finger pressing them this way. Okay. They're all going this way. Okay, I'm going to slide this baby up a little bit. Put that there. There we go. You can start to see the star here, the star points showing up here. First I thought that was wrong. I was a little nervous, but it's not. It's okay. Okay, so now we're making the other side of the bow tie. So this is going to go this way. And this is like its own flying geese like that. This row is the hardest because it's disjointed. It really only makes its picture with the other side. So to put together, I just really have to focus. I know this is making the square here in the center, or diamond. It's a diamond. And then this one is going this way. All right, a little bow tie. It's going to make its flying geese. All right, I know I had to put a title. There we go, that's the next row. I think it's looking good actually. So this, now I'm going to check for the flipping. So I'm going to flip this one with the light. I think it's pretty funny that my watch tells me that when it's time to stand, and I'm already standing. I'm like, really, I'm standing. Don't you know that I'm standing? So that's correct now. Is it? Or am I now flipping this the wrong way then? Okay. It was that way before. So this one's this way. Now if I flip these two together, this one's correct. I'm going to spread these out. Hold the phone. No, I had that upside down. Okay, so now this one. Okay. This one's correct. So the orientation is everything. This one's correct. But this one has to flip. Now this one's right. And this one needs to flip. Okay. That's correct. And this one is correct. And this one has to flip. Okay, last one that has to flip. All right, so the pairs, here we go. You know what? This is so funny. I swore I had this right. Let me just make sure, because these have to be flying geese. All right, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna sew these in down because somehow I've got this wrong. Again, who knew? But not if I sew it. It's not too late to flip it. Just simple flip. And I need to. All right, so here's the row here. Okay, and it would make a really bulky point right in the center, which if we did like a whirl thing, this is really sort of off just by a little bit, even though I have that pinned. Everything else seems okay. This is up a little bit. I might have to reset. I'm gonna actually fix the seam. I'm gonna press it open, but I think for the most part, I'll just press it open to show you. So first you steam it down. This is the tool right here, okay? This is the tool right here. And we're gonna press it open so it drapes right on there and it makes it easier to press open. Even fixing the seams, it's fine that I have it pressed open first, okay? Because then when I go back to fix it, and where all those four come together, it will make it less thick there. So. and it just wants to fall open. Then I take it down to the flat surface and just pop a little steam on it. And I think you can see the two spots I have to fix where the bow tie comes together and where these two seams meet. I need to fix those. But I will do that after we are done, because I don't think I'll have time to put the whole block together today before I have to take off for physical therapy. So, and I wanted to, I can't do that until I see. I want to see if this is going to work right, or if I have to flip everything now that I flip this one. All right, so these are going this way, so to the left, so these are going to come to the right. And I'm going to just check this. Nope, that is correct. All right. So if that's correct, then these will all be correct. All right. I had to put my seat is high. And when I first started sewing, I was leaning on the chair and I had the footstool on the floor. I mean the presser foot pedal on the floor. And now with my back causing me problems, and I don't want to become hunched over. I want to be able to keep walking forever until I can't walk anymore, and I hope that's a ripe old age. And so that's why I went to physical therapy. I talked to my doctor and was given physical therapy. So but one of the things I've done to change is I put we have a step stool that our kids used to reach the sink when they were little, so they could brush their teeth. And I have my foot pedal on there now. So I'm hoping that it makes a difference on my back. Now my husband was supposed to secretly film me when I wasn't watching, looking, of me working. But has he done that? No. But to his credit, he has a super intense project going on. He has to verify that all these, well, he's not personally, yes, he's verifying, putting all these people through a verification process. All right, I'm going to make sure I'm going the right way. Clearly, I can't talk and do this at the same time. This is a very complicated block. And so he's got to focus on that. I mean, that's the first priority, not coming in here and secretly videotaping me while I'm working, to see if this is the right setup so that my physical therapist can help us adjust it so that it's going the right way, which is so cool because Carolyn went into the car, like came out to my car, and who is the physical therapist for my hip and right knee, and adjusted my seat. Like had me move it forward, back, adjust the mirrors, da 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 da, forward, back. We talked about things, she tested things, and then now I have my seat in the exact right position when I got my new car. Even though I wasn't seeing her, she took the time, she came out, she did it again for me, which just speaks miles about this place where I go for physical therapy. So I'm super excited. So this is going to happen for my workspace too. And I'm going to be able to get it set up so that it works ergonomically correct for my body. And I'm super excited about that. So, okay. Oh, I knew I had two of these. Well, I usually have two, one to start, one to end. And I couldn't find it. I should always put it in the same place. I know it sort of stays right in the area. Okay, so now this is opening up like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is row 5. There's only 3 more rows. Hopefully I made the right number of, there we go. This goes together here like this. And then we're going to press it. Suppose I could add the, I don't know why I pinned that one and not all the other ones. Force of habit, just grab that pin, make sure it stays lined up. Probably be the best one in the whole row. Okay. I did put it where I like to say I put it. Okay, let's iron this row so we know which way to iron the next row. Going this way. Okay, so there it is, boop-a-doo, like that. There's the next row. You can see the center of the star happening. I'll move all these up. So now let's start the next row. And here we go. We start with the squares. And the beiges make their flying geese. And then the dark make the flying geese the other way. See, I would have made these flying geese units. I would have had a flying geese unit, a flying geese unit, fewer seams, and next time maybe I will redesign the pattern and then I can publish it for you guys. You know, the person who made it did a great job, and by doing all these half square triangles, you have more flexibility of changing up color. So I totally respect, oh, this is in the wrong orientation. I totally respect the choice that she made. But, and you should check out her blog. It's, oops, let me just send that flying. It's Janet Claire, oh, who's the woman whose fabric I'm using. I think it goes this way. And now I have to put it back because I blew it out of the water. Yeah, this way. Okay, white on white, right to the white. And she has a nice blog. Each time I try and go on there where they put their information, check out what they've done and how they chose the colors that they chose. Oh yeah, now we have to check the flipping. I forgot about that part. Oh, of course. I was so excited to sew the row together because I sort of feel like once you get over halfway and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be done. It's kind of cool. I just want to make sure that I have them all oriented. All right, press that seam. All right, this one does need to flip. Press it closed. Finger press. This is the one where I did the half flip, so I want to make sure. Now this one is going to come onto this one, so make sure. So this one has to flip. Okay. Okay. So double check. And this one should be correct, and it is. And this one should be correct, and it is. And this one should flip, and it needs to. All right, there we go. Back on the wagon again. Down we go. This will flip. Oh, I finished, well, I didn't finish it, but I made all the blocks for the sew-along that the Fat Quarter Shop was doing. I caught up, except to sew it together. I ran out of time to sew it together before today, so I wanted to show it to you all together. But next week I'll show it to you all sewn together. You'll see it when I flip the hold the phone, because I want to make sure I'm finger pressing these the right way. When I flip my computer so you can see the design well, which I'll do at the end. I have a tickle in my throat. All the dust I'm kicking up. And kind of wish we could press these the other way, but nope. All right, let's put our pairs together. It's working. And then this one. 2 more rows after this. Okay. Let's finger press these. Going this way. You can see how it's starting to make the other square of the beige. I'm liking this block, I have to admit. Liking it a lot. I wasn't sure I was going to, making all these half square triangles, just saying. And having to really work the rows going together. I want to fix some stuff, so we'll see. I think what I'll do is I won't sew the rows together on the live feed. I think I will sew it together when I get back from physical therapy, and I will, number one, post it up on Instagram and Facebook. So those of you that follow me will see it, and then next week I will post it for sure. You'll see it. I'll show you first before we start the next block. Next week, my physical therapy is until noon. I got it pushed till noon, so we'll start early, but we'll have plenty of time. We can start at 9:30. We can decide. All right, so here's the next row, and we're making the 1, 2. I'm gonna too short on these. Look at that. Unless they're hiding somewhere. Oh, you know what? I'm not. I have these two. I was nervous about that because we only use these two here, like this. And we use these two here. I thought, what did I do wrong? I didn't do the right number, but I did. They go there. Spread it out. It's going to get sewn together, and we have the these two go right here, and they make a flying geese. See this? We could have done. Let me just say this really quickly. We could have done a square and a square here. We could have done square and a square. Rows. Like we could have made it. We would have had to do this as a row, and we could have done a flying geese unit, and the two corners we could have made square and a square, square and a square, square and a square, square and a square, square and a flying geese. Ooh, excuse me, square and a square, square and a square. I think that would have made this a much simpler block to create. Less seams overall. Yeah, less seams, because we wouldn't have the 4 that came together in the center of the square. We would have put it together, it would have put together very differently. So, all right, now we have to do the flipping thing. So we're gonna check this one out. This one's correct. This flips over, that one's correct, which means this one has to flip to the light side. So I have to press it closed. I thought about pressing these half one way and half the other, so if you decide to make this block, it's probably a pretty safe bet. You would have to flip less if you did that. And this one needs to get switched over. But this isn't taking me too long to do. So that's correct. And this one needs to get flipped. Well, the fog seems to have lifted. I'll be in, see what it's like going over the Beverly Bridge into Beverly. Okay. Is it foggy where you are, Sharon? Let's see. Oh, and then we need one more rectangle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So our pairs together. Yeah. Definitely not sewing all the rows together, but at least you got to see the one pressed open, because after I finish the next row, I want to talk to you about the next video that I'm going to put up on YouTube. And I talked to Jessica about filming it. She can come over. She doesn't mind coming over and wearing a mask and doing the filming for me. So I want to talk about that and show you my fabric came, so I'm like wicked excited, and I'll show you the color it is. It's the same. I tried to match what I had picked from that fat quarter bundle that I own. So I'll show you. I'm just going to put it up as a video. I'm not going to do it as a live stream unless you guys want it, in which case I will, because I'm going to make a bunch of them, so I will do. Oh, I just was finger pressing this. All right, so these are going this way, so this is going the other way, opposite way, and that way. Each row gets one pressed the easy way on the squares. Okay. Put our pairs together. My phone alarm's going to go off in 7 minutes. So just so you know what that is, when it goes off, I wanted to make sure I would not be late. Okay. Now we have the pairs. Snip these babies apart. Flip it open. This is going this way. Open. All right, put this together and then we press it. And there's just one more row to make after this. I'm trying to go back into, by the way, into YouTube to put thumbnails up. I'm taking pictures of the blocks so that when you go to the if you want to watch them again and you want to know what blocks we made during it, you can see just by watching by looking at the thumbnail, the little picture before. I'm learning. This whole thing is a learning process. It's kind of fun to actually be learning all this. So, okay, let's just do this the correct way here. There's the star. Now we've made our second square and square. And now we're going to put these babies in here. We put pairs of these two to get these together. And this one goes in the corner, and we just have to flip one. Yay, only one flip. I know, living dangerously, flipping part of the check. Okay. And it's a little, okay, let's just do this the right way. Flying geese. There we go. So it looks, I just see a little bow tie when I see it. So let's sew our pairs together. I don't know how hard it is to just not pick up the two whites and sew the two whites together. I'm like, no, grab the pairs. I just want to sew the two white blocks together. But I get to after this round. And here we go. These together, and then I will talk about the next video that I'm going to put up. And the good news about putting the videos up is that Jessica, wonderful person that she is, edits them. Okay, so these supposed to go this way. These are going this way. Okay, now they're in the corner. This is this one. It's still going that way though. And these all have pairs, so this is going towards it. Now let's see if by doing this, I end up with the pairs that form the, yeah, it should work. Because I did press one, so I think this one has to be here like this. I only flipped one. So, there we go. So now I can sew the two whites together that I wanted to do last time. So quickly. Oh, my foot pedal's gonna fall off the foot. That's the only problem with the footstool being up there. The footstool's not quite big enough, so I think I'm gonna see if my wonderful husband, who's not super handy with building things, though with help he builds amazing things, like he built a table, so I shouldn't be so quick to judge, but I need like a shelf or something that I can put this foot pedal on. Either that or I have to, either way I have to sit up this high because of the way the table is. So, or I could lower the whole thing down. That's too much work. Okay, so now this opens. Let's get the right pair together because one of them flips. There we go. And the last seam for the last row. There we go. Okay, this is perfect timing. This is how I shut my machine off. I leave that under there, put my needle up, press her foot up, and then I turn it off. Yep, hold on, I gotta turn my alarm off. All right. So saying you need to go right now, but I don't. It's only a 20-minute drive, so I have a little time, so I can talk and then we'll get off. But there, let me just press this really quick. Make sure I'm going the right way. It's going to the left. Okay, you guys, there's the block, not sewn together, but put together. And I will put it up after, okay? I will put it all up. I'm just gonna leave it right here on my table. And after physical therapy, I will do it. Blue skies and sunny in Danvers. Ah, so jealous. Okay, I think it's still pretty dang cloudy here. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is this, okay? This is the book, I showed it to you before. The Happy Together are the people, and I'm gonna make the pirate, and I cut him out. This is his, I'm just showing you again. This is his, gonna be his bandana. This is gonna be his pants, sharks. This is gonna be his little shirt. This is his belt. Well, it's black, that's better. This is his face. He's tan, or he's Caribbean, or whatever. But I had to wait for the background fabric because I couldn't cut it from the fat quarter. But I think this kind of looks like the sea, and I think all these fabrics go with it. And I'm going to make him out of this, and I'm going to use all, here they use all different backgrounds, but I would have had to buy a whole bunch of half yards to do it, and there would have been more waste, and I'd much rather buy yardage and do one whole background and put all the people on it. So I'm actually going to make two pirates, because one pirate I want to make and put him on a ship, so I bought a yard extra of the background so I could mess around. And then I'm going to do all these different people. So I'm gonna do a video of making the pirate, just one block. I'm gonna and show you how you could just do it as a wall hanging, or and obviously you could go on and make the whole thing. It uses their new ruler, which, hold on to my ruler bay, and of course when I want to find it, they have all their rulers. Oh, it's tipped. That's why. Okay, so I'll show you all their rulers. This is the mini curved ruler. This is their quick curve, which I used first. I love both of them. And now they have this one, and I have to get used to the directions. So I thought it would be good just to show you the good, bad, and ugly of learning to read their directions. I'm going to put it right in the video with their new directions and how I make a mistake or not make a mistake. So I'm going to put it up. It'll probably take me probably 2 weeks to get it together, because I don't want to, Jess is working at the pharmacy and I don't want to tax her in the editing. And I'm going to charge up her camera that she lent me, and I'll be good to go. So I will give you more information next week. All right, I'm going to tip this down so you can see me at the end here. And thank you for being willing to come early. Next week I'd like to do 9:30, so I'll make it till noon, and then after that my physical therapy appointments are on Thursday, so I just have them once a week. So for this week and next week I'm going twice a week, and after that I drop down to once a week. And I don't know, given that I do exercise through the same place, our trainer who's been giving us our morning workouts is through the same place. We'll see how long physical therapy will go and what I really need to do, and I will keep you posted. All right, everybody, I want you to have an awesome week. Enjoy the sunshine. Remember to email me whether you're going to come on Wednesday and sit on the deck, and you can bring handwork. I'll provide drinks and seats and conversation, and I also have my big picnic table, so if you want to lay something out, I'm more than willing to bring a mat and pins, any supplies we need out from my house. But I think it'd just be great to see each other, be face to face, And so I hope to see you there. Truly, our deck is big, so we can spread out. I think 6 people in the main section of my deck. We can all face each other. If we get bigger than that, then we'll put people around the corner. But I think will be great. And they say out in the sun and everything. I checked this out. Louise Seba's husband said it was fine, and he's a doctor. And Michelle, you know, as a nurse, that it's dying in the sun and the air dissipates the droplets. And so when we get near each other, we have to have our masks. We don't have to have them on when we're apart from each other, the 6 feet apart. So I hope that some of you can make it. I'm looking forward to it. And there's no pressure. I think it'd just be fun to sit out on the deck. We can stay as long as people want to. I have no trouble either with people going in and using my restroom. I'll clean it before you guys come. I'll wipe it all down with disinfectant wipes, and then I will wipe it again after you guys leave. So please feel free to be comfortable and let me know whether you're going to come or not. All right. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I will be in touch with you. Awesome.